Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't done already, make sure you go check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Completely free to join. You can find the link to that in the Discord. In the Discord? No, you can find it in the description to the Discord in the description below. Or, of course, you can find it at the top of the chat as well. You can join the community, chat with other traders, including myself, share ideas. And, of course, you can find out a little bit more about Elevating Trades, the firm itself. And, of course, you can find your discount code there if you're looking to purchase your next trading challenge. So if you haven't already checked it out, make sure you go and do so. But, guys, welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is well. Welcome, CS Integrated. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Happy New Year as well. Only 8 days. Wow, it's still flying. 8 days in already. Then it's going to be 80 days, and then it's going to be Happy New Year for 2026 soon. Anyway, Yvonne, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Oil, yes, we'll take a look. No problem. Of course. Azina, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yes, yeah, we'll go through yen pairs as well, seeing some movement across the yen pairs as always. And we will go dissect and see what's happening. Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, people. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, as always, I'll go through USD first, take a look at the DXY, go through USD majors, take a look at gold and silver. Then I will get to some requests. So if you have any particular pairs you do want me to take a look at, drop it in the chat. We'll take a look. And of course, if you want me to drop to a specific time frame, let me know as well. And I will take a look for you. But yeah, as things with the dollar, we have seen some movement. Price is now looking pretty bullish. I was expecting a bit deeper of a retracement for USD this week. Looks like price has found support and it's letting fly at the moment. Ever since we got the breakout on the weekly chart, being very bullish with USD and expecting price potentially to get back to 113. So that's still my long-term bias, kind of my goal for 2025. So to speak, but we do need to stay above this level of support. The moment we break back underneath this, I won't be looking for the breakout back to the highs there anymore. But at this moment in time, solid break of that structure, clearing out this range, which we've been in for about 2 years. Price is finally broken out of that. So I'm looking at a lot more upside for the DXY for USD, and eventually prices back at 113. So that's been the overall swing, the overall move I'm looking at. However, we did get a really aggressive sell-off on, was it Monday? Yeah, a really aggressive sell-off on Monday. And I was expecting price to come a little bit deeper, maybe take out some of these lows here. I did have a nice area of confluence just below us, retesting this range here, which is the same range I was speaking about last week, hoping for a pullback into that area. Lovely consolidation. Spent a few days there before a really strong break to the upside. So a lot of momentum has come from that area, and it would be nice to come back and retest it since we hadn't had a retest of that area yet. So that was the area I was expecting DXY to pull back into before seeing some upside, but looks like we've held support around the 108 area pretty well. And it's safe to say USD is looking pretty bullish at the moment. I wouldn't be too surprised if we were to push back to the highs there. So the deeper pullback may still happen. Maybe price puts a lower high in it and drops back one more time. Maybe a bit unlikely at this moment in time. But yeah, I do expect us to push back to highs. And of course, if we see new highs, the plan continues. New highs created, look for the next pullback somewhere. Maybe it's the retest of the high there. Maybe we're coming back to retest this area. Of course, we'll judge that when the high is created. Then we're looking for the next higher low and so on and so forth. As long as we keep up this bullish trend, keep respecting higher highs and higher lows, basically respecting the bullish structure, I would expect us to eventually get back to that 113, 114 area. So that's really much the plan with USD, expecting more upside and higher highs and pullbacks and all that lovely stuff. It's just the bigger pullback I was looking for this week. It doesn't look like it's happening, but it's looking very bullish now. I think maybe intraday, if you're looking at some pullbacks intraday, that could be the one. So if I just get rid of this, I still like this area here because that's kind of like a really aggressive double bottom. retested the low once, second time, big break to the upside. So could see a retest of that area or even a retest of this range intraday. Something like this, pullback, high, low, and of course, more upside there. So yeah, intraday is looking very bullish. 4 hours looking pretty bullish as well. Would expect price to eventually come back to the highs at 109.5. But yeah, at the moment in time, it looks like we're probably going to see that USD strength continue. So if you're on the lower time frames looking for opportunities that favor that, hopefully we can find some pullbacks at some later stage. If we drop to euro, looks like we're doing the inverse as well. We had a very impulsive move. So again, I was looking for that deeper pullback. Doesn't look like we're quite getting it. I was talking about a retest of this range here. Had a nice confluence with the Fibonacci, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 0.618 in that region. So it would have been nice for price to come back and test it. I mean, it did test the 50. The 50 is proven to be a really sturdy level of resistance there, but it would be nice to come a little bit higher, test that consolidation, test the 0.618 as well, and then get the continuation. But of course, we can't necessarily dictate what the market's going to do to the pip. We can just wait for opportunities to present themselves. When they do, we jump into them. It would have been nice for price to have a slightly deeper correction, but it's looking very, very bearish at this moment in time. So yeah, Euro USD looking like it's falling as well, similar to the DXY. Has left behind some nice intraday zones here as well. So a retest of that area could look good come the New York session or maybe tomorrow. I still do like this area here as well. Should we have a slightly deeper correction? But generally speaking, it looks like more downside is pretty likely here. And of course, you got your lows down there as a healthy target of where you're expecting Euro USD to end up at. So yeah, more downside for Euro USD. We're still getting that bearish structure, lower lows and lower highs. This was the high that printed this new low. So again, from a structural perspective, we've got to take out this high for me to completely change my bearish bias with Euro USD. On the weekly chart, we still do have that confident break of this low here, which is why I'm so bearish in euro. And of course, we've got the confident break of the high on the DXY, which is why I'm bullish on the dollar. But again, pretty much mirror image of the DXY long-lasting range for about 2 years. It looks like price is finally broken through the low. So if this is the breakout, where's the next big level? Next big level for us is back down here at 0.96, 0.97. So that is where I do expect Euro USD to end up, which of course lines up very, very well with the bias and the technical analysis with the DXY. So very bearish on Euro. As long as we maintain this bearish structure, I do see a lot more downside. And looks like we're getting a continuation of that now. So yeah, if you're on an intraday level, I would keep an eye out for the shorts. Maybe some pullbacks come New York session could come around. But yeah, more downside this week is looking pretty likely. And of course, this is the story throughout the USD majors. If I jump over to pound USD, we're seeing the same kind of pattern as well. Nice little double top from yesterday. Price respected it. Really strong drop to the downside. Some consolidation / corrections overnight. And now we're seeing London session give us that kick to the downside again. So come New York, maybe you could be looking at something like this and expecting more downside. You've got the lows there to target. If I expand to the 4-hour chart, I was looking for, again, a slightly deeper correction for pound as well. My analysis was pretty much the same as euro. Again, drawing the fib from the high to the low. Because, of course, this is the high that gave us the new lows, which broke through the low there on the left. So I was looking for the deeper correction, retest that zone there as well with the 0.618. And again, looking for the continuation. So pretty much identical to euro setup, but again, they've just been very, very bearish. USD's been very strong the past 24 hours, and that's just caused us to completely sell off there. This one didn't quite tag the 50 as like euro did, but yeah, it's looking very bearish. And I think if you're looking to trade this, you probably want to be on an intraday time frame, because the swing entries might have left. Maybe we do have one more deeper pullback, like I said. Maybe the DXY still does push to that zone at 107. Maybe pound USD does still give us that bigger pullback and then the drop. Maybe Euro USD still does that. Of course, with trading, you never know. You just got to stay on your toes, plan your trades, and trade the plan essentially. And this is the zone you're looking to short from. It potentially still could get hit. We still could get a deeper correction. You don't want to rule that out completely. But of course, with current momentum, and if you are on an intraday level, kind of looking to take those shorts until proven otherwise, really. So that's the thinking with Euro USD and Pound USD. In terms of dollar CAD, same thing as well, but of wanting a much deeper correction for this one. Again, longer term, still do expect to see a push back to 1.46, which is back at these highs here. So long way to go. Major rejection at this area, one over there, second over there. And now we're looking for a third, since we did get that major breakout of this level of resistance back here. And that's the next big level I expect price to go and test. So very bullish on the dollar CAD. And as I've been saying for the past easily 3 weeks, maybe even month now, to be honest, a retest of this zone looks really, really good, but the market is nowhere near that. If I whip out a fib, similar setup to Pound USD and Euro USD, looking for that deeper correction into the 0.618, lines up very well with this zone. Would have been a nice opportunity to get long from that area. Same with Pound, same with Euro, but looks like the bulls are stepping back into USD, and maybe we might just push on. Of course, not to rule it out, we still could get that deeper correction. Just because we're looking pretty bullish now doesn't mean we can't turn around. We do have NFP on Friday. That could throw a big curveball very, very easily, and we could still see a weak dollar potentially. If the fundamentals call for it, we could definitely see that. So I'm not going to rule that out. There's still that possibility for that deeper correction. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it, just like I've been doing for the past few weeks. But again, with dollar CAD, if we don't get that bigger setup down that major swing trade, then the focus shifts back to this high. And if we were to go and break through that, then of course you've got some nice opportunities on the retest and finding some high lows there to continue the momentum. Because right now we've had a really big swing, pretty prolonged consolidation there. This might be a fake to the downside, taking out these lows here. And now potentially price might be ready to continue to the upside. If so, wait for the break of structure. Could be some nice longs in the retest. And again, look to ride it back to that 1.46 area should we not get that deeper correction into 1.415. So there's two ways to look at it. This is the one I'm really interested in. Just have to wait patiently to see if it will happen or not. In terms of Aussie dollar, of course, this one was pretty bearish as well. USD strength really taking control of the USD majors yesterday. Nice push to the downside. Did we tag that first area? Maybe just missed it. Yeah, just quite missed it. Yeah, I've been looking at a couple of areas for Aussie dollar, including this one here as well. For price to see that next lower high. I've been very, very consistent with all of these lower highs, and the plan was to keep expecting more of the lower highs again until proven otherwise, until we start breaking structure. Seeing consistent high lows, that's when I'll reinvestigate. But again, don't want to rule it out for Aussie dollar. Potentially could still see that deeper correction come at any point and still see a move down. I'm very bearish longer term for Aussie dollar, at least till we take out this wick low here. A lot of liquidity underneath that low. I do expect that to go up pretty soon. I still do think there's a deeper pullback to be had with Aussie dollar because the market is still very stretched. We've had a really big sell. I think it's from September. Yeah, end of September, we had a really big drop. So the market is still pretty oversold. So I think if we do take out this low here soon, probably will get a deeper pullback. I still think the bigger move is lower. If we go to the weekly chart, I do think eventually we're probably coming back down to the COVID wick of 2020. But we might go through a deeper correction, see one of these major lower highs form somewhere, and then we continue falling. But yeah, Aussie dollar very bearish, expecting more of the same. Again, still would like to see a bit of a pullback. Again, I know we had it yesterday, but a slightly deeper one would be nice. And then, yeah, still expecting more downside. New Zealand dollar, exact same situation as well. Nice push to the upside, but still didn't really give much of a pullback, really. This was the last major high, really, for New Zealand dollar, which gave us this low. It would be nice to see a healthy correction of that swing. So again, these are the areas I've been mentioning with New Zealand dollar, retest of that consolidation, even better, retest of this low here. These are the areas which I want to see price pull back into to find some shorts and expect more downside. And again, similar to Aussie dollar, there is a major low on the daily chart, which I'm expecting price to go and take out pretty soon, which is the low here at 0.55, basically on the dot. And again, not too far away from that zone there as well. So maybe there's just a lot of bearish momentum in the market right now. We had a really strong drop not too long ago, and maybe we're just going to see price kind of just spill over naturally of that. But it would be nice to see a bit of a pullback, find the next lower high. We've taken out some really big structures on the left over here. So I do expect to see price at least have some type of correction of that and continue, or maybe we just keep falling. But yeah, didn't mean to do that. So yeah, that's still very much the plan there with New Zealand dollar, expecting a lot more downside with this one, but have to be patient. And if we go take a look at gold and silver, yeah, gold's still not a big fan of. I have no idea what price is doing. It looks like it's slowly pushing to the upside because we're putting in some consistent high lows in now. So it looks like we are slowly doing something like this maybe. But again, it's not something I'll look to trade. I'm still treating this as basically consolidation, equal highs up there, more or less equal lows down there. These look like fake outs to me. So potentially we could see gold do something like that. It's nothing high probability or something that I'll look to trade in my plan or setup that I see. As I keep mentioning, this is the level which I would like to find some entries at for gold. Of course, we're nowhere near that. It doesn't look like we're getting there or getting any closer. So probably no setup in that regard. But the bigger move for gold for me is still likely back to the highs here, 27.90. So still expecting more upside with gold. Still expecting more upside with gold, but I have to be patient, wait for price action to clear up, and then can find an entry somewhere to get in. But don't really have an update, don't really have a setup I'm eyeing up. If you are looking to trade gold, I don't mind this area here since it has proven to be a very solid level of support. Someone's trying to call me, apologies. But yeah, price is looking like it's faked that level a few times. So if this is going to remain as support, there could be a nice move back to the high there. So that's the only kind of opportunity I see on gold. Otherwise, I would stay away. Silver, on the other hand, I do actually quite like a lot. It's formed a really nice double bottom this week. As you can see, we tested that low very, very well. And a really nice push to the upside, taking out the highs there as well. So in my book, silver is looking like it's getting ready to see the next major high low on the daily, weekly chart. You know, this is still the major swing I'm looking at. You've got the low there, you've got the high over there. And if I whip out the fib, we've had a pullback, healthy pullback, more or less into that 0.618. And I'm expecting us to start to see the swing back up again. So what I'm looking at for silver now is some higher lows forming, and then I'll be looking to trying to find the next one after that to see if I can get into an entry and swing it back to the highs. Of course, I'll keep a very close eye on this area since that is a very strong area of supply, really strong drop to the downside. And of course, that was the last lower high, which gave us that sell there. So I definitely want to watch out for that. But should price break through that as well, then I think there's a high probability that silver just continues to swing back to the high at 34.9 and beyond. But these are the opportunities I'm eyeing up for silver. So keeping close eye on that. And the double bottom looks like price has just put its high low in. So yeah, very, very bullish on silver. Expecting more upside. Have to stay patient because we could still put another lower high in reference to the high here. Still put another lower high in and still get another drop. So have to be careful with that. But if the market starts putting in the higher lows, it's a strong indication that, okay, silver's getting ready to continue and probably see gold continue at that point as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD, gold, silver. Still very bullish on USD. Looks like we're seeing that momentum come in already. I wasn't expecting it so soon. Expecting a bit more weakness for USD and then the continuation, but looks like the market is already wanting to fly. Yeah, DXY is bullish like hell. Will, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing good. Hope you are well. Darkshon, welcome. Good morning. Hope you're doing good. Okay, GJ, 5-minute chart. We'll have a look. See. Short confirmation. But it's not okay. And now looking for a new entry. Yeah, it happens. At the end of the day, the markets are 24/7. Well, 24/5, I should say, at least the FX anyway. So you can get setups outside of your trading hours. In fact, Silver actually gave me a nice setup when I was sleeping as well. It closed at 2 a.m. This was last week. Yeah, this candle closed, gapped open, really nice shift of momentum because I was looking for the double bottom here, but I wanted to see a strong close like we got over there. And we did get this nice 4-hour close, but it closed at 2 a.m. And yeah, I'm not on the charts at 2 a.m. either. And it would have been a really nice position. But yeah, you will miss trades like that, of course, unless you're going to be awake 24/7. I mean, I know some people who do have who do put alerts on, and they will wake up at crazy hours to go and take trades. I'm not one of those people because I know if I'm waking up at like 5 a.m. To take a trade, if I'm not properly awake, I'll probably do something stupid, wrong lot size, take the wrong position, wrong direction. If I don't have proper time to wake up, I'll probably do something silly. So some people can operate like that, and kudos to them. Anyway, I'll go through euro, and I'll go through oil as well for Von, and then I'll take a look at GJ as well. Yeah, that's a good point as well, Ahmed. Might be waiting for news on Friday to get the ball rolling. Yeah, that could be the case. NFP is a good event to kind of really start a trend forming, especially because it's the start of the year as well. So you might be getting ready to form a really nice trend. But yeah, gold, the way I'm looking at it, we've got the range high there at 27.19 pretty much, which is this high there. We've got the low at 26.20, I'll call it. And between that, sure, there might be some nice opportunities in between those levels. Maybe it might be a nice swing if you keep breaking the highs, another pullback somewhere, and you keep riding it up. So that could be a nice trade at some point. But I'm really just looking at this as a range. It's not a clean chart at all. And yeah, and the way I see it is that throughout the year of 2025, there will be some really good opportunities with gold 100%. And talking from a swing perspective, and my job is to make sure I'm there to take those good trades when they do set up. At the moment, I can tell from conditions there isn't a good setup. Doesn't mean there won't be a big move. Like Ahmed said, NFP is coming this Friday. There probably will be a big move with gold at some point, but that's just not a move that's worthwhile me looking to take. When the markets do align very well, as a nice trending environment, or the markets are a lot clearer, that's the time I want to be looking to make sure I get into positions and take those trades. And that's the time I'm waiting for. Gold at the moment, I think is a really, really choppy market. Anyway, let's go take a look at oil. So last time I looked at oil, we were looking pretty bullish, and we still are. Strong move to the upside yesterday. Again, I'm still looking for a really big sell for silver. We have a long-standing trend line on the daily chart, and I'm still looking for this trend line to hold. So connecting these major lower highs, we've got one over there, second over there, third over there. We have put some minor highs here as well. Haven't tested the trend line, but the market is still putting lower highs in, which is still a theme. So I'm looking for price to come back into resistance, which is this high here, with the trend line as well. And possibly we could form the next lower high in the sequence and get another drop to the downside. Because longer term, did not mean to do that, because longer term, I am looking for this wick low to be taken out eventually. So I am expecting a lot more downside there for oil. And in terms of a smart place to short, a smart place to look to, play some swing entries, this is definitely one of them. If prices start to break through that, that's more of a bullish indication. We still could put a lower high and come that down, but the probabilities of us doing that do diminish quite a lot. And if we start taking out some of these highs here, then at that point we've got something else. I'm no longer looking for that big swing. But as of right now, trend line's still intact, still putting in major lower highs there. So the plan is for a little bit more upside, test this area of confluence, and from there we might get a really big sell. In the meantime, though, there could be some nice buys. I did talk about the retest of this level here, which was a really nice level of resistance. If I drag that across, we have since broken through that, And should price have a bit of a mini sell-off, I think that would be a great place for some longs to trade it back into that zone to then short it at a later date. So that's really the plan there with oil. Again, it's not a market that I look to trade, but I do keep up to date with the price action from time to time. And it looks to me that we have broken out of this zone here, just like we did over there. We have cleared the high of that zone. So should we come back and retest, I think that's a really nice place for a buy. And this is a really nice place for a sell. So keep an eye on 72.40, I should say, for the longs. And keep an eye on 77.50, 78 for the sells up there. Yeah, the bigger move for me is still likely to the downside as long as we keep up with these lower highs. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for oil. What's up, Saddam? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome. Yeah, Euro yen is dumping. We have seen a little bit of weird price action across the board with the yen pairs. It's been up and down, up and down. I know that's essentially what price does anyway, but the market hasn't really been free flowing that well. But I still think the bigger move for Euro yen is to the upside. I'm still looking for a pushback to 166.5, which is this area, 166.6, we can call it. That is still where I'm expecting Euro yen to get to. As I've said, as long as bullish structure remains intact, which so far that is the case. You can see the higher lows the market's putting in. As long as we keep up those higher lows, I do expect to see a push back to the high up there. We got a lovely pullback last week, came back to test some nice areas in this vicinity in particular. Really nice wick there to the downside in the 4 hour. And since then, had actually a really nice rally to the upside. But at the moment, price looks like it's reacting with this zone here and it's having a little bit of trouble. So maybe we do have a slightly bigger correction for Euro yen and then the continuation. But yeah, I'm expecting price to break through this zone. In terms of entries, it's a little bit tricky. If you're looking for a swing trade, down here is really the place to enter. So if price was to say have a really big pushback down, I think that's still a nice trade back at this zone, looking for like a big double top, big double bottom, sorry. Stop loss below, looking to take that back to the highs. Or should price break the zone again, look for the next pullback, and then you can look to ride it for the next leg afterwards. But either which way, Euro yen I'm still bullish on, unless we were to have a really big sell and start breaking through lows. Then, of course, at that point, that invalidates that bullish structure, and now we can speak about the shorts for a bigger move down. And the bigger move for me for Euro yen is still very much to the downside. That's still the bigger move I'm looking at. If I just clean the chart a little bit, I'm still looking for price to say get back to this region here. I'm still looking for that big sell because, again, I'm still looking for the continuation of that drop in July, and this is still the correction I'm eyeing up. So that is still very much my bias longer term. But at the moment, we have reversed this bearish structure, and now we're trending bullish. So I'm looking for that to continue. Then maybe when we get to those highs, we start to see some signs of reversal. But yeah, a bit of a move to the downside the past few hours there for Euro yen. But I do think it's going to turn around pretty soon, whether we see a bigger correction, then push, or we just form a higher low somewhere else and start pushing to the upside. I do see more upside there for Euro yen. In terms of GJ in the 5 minute, you're looking at shorts there. Darksham have had a bit of a sell-off there, actually. Okay. Is this the 615 you're talking about? Around there somewhere was a pretty nice sell there. But yeah, for GJ again, it's another market I'm still pretty bullish on as well. I still do expect price to make its way back to the high. But again, GJ looks like a market that's starting to struggle a little bit at some of those areas. I do think we'll probably just have a deeper correction and then probably push on. But of course, on the 5 minute chart, you're probably not necessarily looking for that move naturally. The market is still quite corrective. We've just about taken out these lows here. So naturally, if you're looking to short GJ, I would be looking at a slightly deeper correction, maybe closer to this area here again. And then from there, I'll start to look for some shorts. You can see we've had a really strong move to the upside. So this to me still looks like a big correction of this bullish move. So I do expect us to eventually do something like that at some point. So even though shorts do look good in the 5 minute, I don't necessarily expect us to sell off a cliff. Of course, it could happen, but I would take shorts with an expectation that I'm still taking advantage of the retracement. So if price does look like it's about to turn around, I probably do want to exit that position a little bit early. But yeah, I still think shorts look good. On the 5 minute chart, we're putting some really nice lower highs here. One there, second there, and third there as well. So there's a good chance we could put in that fourth. I think that's a lovely area to short from. Just because now we've pinched the lows, this is not the best place to be looking to short, in my opinion. Still, of course, the market could drop, but that's just not really the best location to find some short entries. If we were to have a deeper pullback, 197, 300, I bet I would have a little bit more luck there. So yeah, pound yen 5 minute chart still bearish. I would have that bias. Like I said, higher time frames are still bullish in pound yen, but on the 5 minute, yeah, I would still look for those shorts as long as we keep respecting structure. And of course, if price was to break through, then you can start looking for some buys again on the 5 minute chart. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at pound yen. What's up, John? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you are doing good. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, in terms of my watch list, I'm still keeping a close eye on the big sells for the yen pairs. Not quite there yet, but hopefully they can speed up a little bit. I was looking, still am looking at pound USD, Euro USD to the downside as well. These guys still like really good sells, but it doesn't look like we're quite getting the retest of the zones I was after. I was hoping to see a slightly deeper correction this week, or at least after Monday anyway, because originally for pound USD, I was looking at this zone here coming into the week, but we had a really impulsive move. So I expected price to have a deeper pullback afterwards. And since we weren't respecting that level as resistance anymore, I was then looking for this zone close to the 0.618 for the sell. So I'm kind of hoping, not necessarily expecting, more hoping, because I want to find a trade. If pound USD can see that bigger pullback, test that area, then I can find the sell. Is the pullback at the moment, since it broke above, broke back below, is not really something I'm looking to trade. So I would like to see a bigger pullback there, back to 1.264. Then from there, catch the shorts. Same idea with euro. It would be nice to see a slightly bigger pullback into this zone, test the 0.618, and then get the short. And still looking at the next major lower high in comparison to that high there, because of course this is the high that gave us the drop, which broke that low. So the idea is that we're looking for the next lower high for the next push back to the low to see some new lows after that. So that is the plan there with Euro USD, Pound USD. But again, the boat might have sailed already. Dollar CAD still firmly on the watch list as well. I like the opportunities here back at 1.415. I still think there's a possibility we could see that. So I'm definitely staying patient, waiting for that to arise, looking for the deeper pullback so I can look to hold these trades for the long run, because I will be trading stops. And the beauty of that is that if you are in the direction of the higher time frames, you don't know how big the trade could be. Most of the time, it's not going to be the home run. You know, you're not going to hit the home run every time just because you're trading stops, but occasionally you will catch those trades which just go on and on and on. And I like the situation because it does look like DXY is breaking out. So, you know, who knows? We could see a world where USD kind of just keeps seeing bullish week after bullish week, and we trend very aggressively back to 2020, back to 113. So I'll say 2025 there, back to 113, and that's what I'm expecting. So hopefully, you can find some entries at some point. But yeah, not quite a big enough pullback for me, but that's really where I'm focused on with the USD. In terms of the yen pairs, there's a few yen pairs which I really do like. Okay, I'll go through pound CAD for Ahmed on the full hourly time frame, and then I'll go through the yen pairs together. No problem, JG. Happy to help, my man. Happy to help. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Glad you're finding it useful. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to smash the like button. It does really help out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But really do appreciate that that comment. But yeah, that's kind of my outlook there on the dollar. If you go take a look at pound CAD, and I'll go through the yen pairs. So yeah, pound CAD, we were speaking about some shorts yesterday, and that is not what I meant to do. Let me do that again. There we go. So yeah, pound CAD, I was speaking about some shorts yesterday, and we did see a bit of downside, nothing crazy. Again, I did say with the shorts with pound CAD, be wary because we are counter trend. If I go back to the daily chart very quickly, you can see that the overall trend of the market is very much up. Now, you can go counter trend. Just because the trend is up doesn't mean you only have to buy, especially in a world like FX where trends don't necessarily continue for that long. And even if they do continue for that long, there's normally nice selling opportunities in bullish trends, of course, buying opportunities in bearish trends as well. But you have to be careful. And what I mean by that is don't try and stay in that trade for too long, because the chances are the trend is likely going to continue. Any given point, the trend is always likely to continue rather than reverse. So if you can take that into consideration when you do get short in bullish markets or long in bearish markets, it means you don't want to be too aggressive with your target. So as I mentioned yesterday, I think if you can get a swing back to the low there, you're looking pretty good. Maybe you can go a lot further than that. But I would look to take most of the profit at that low and then leave some positions to run just in case we do. Maybe we do get back to this low. Maybe we do reverse completely. But of course, we won't know that until it does happen. But we did mention this area here. Lovely consolidation in the 4-hour chart. Lovely drop to the downside there. We're talking about a retest for the next lower high in the sequence. Had a high over there. Low, lower high, lower low. Excuse me. So the next expectation was another lower high for another push to the low. And it looks like we were getting that. And if I was to drop to the hourly chart, yeah, we have seen some nice momentum, nice little double top there as well, pushed in, nice rejection. But again, now's not the time to be looking to short the market. You can see we did give us a really big wick in this area. This is naturally bullish territory. Of course, whether it will hold and send the market back up or not, that's a different question. But in terms of finding entries to take pound CAD to the downside, you want to be focused, up in these areas here. Maximize risk to reward, find a better place for a stop loss. There's multiple reasons why you want to enter there. Looking for some pullbacks here. Could still very much play out, but it's in a much more noisy area. The market's already had a bit of a drop there on the hourly chart, so it might have a deeper pullback as well. So, yeah, I think the boat has kind of sailed with pound CAD. This would be the area to short from. If price was to come back and retest it, then we can look at the same shorts again for the bigger move. So that is a possibility. But I do expect us to come back and test that low, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how price reacts. Maybe we bounce, maybe we break through, and then we'll see. Because for me to be expecting a lot more downside, I need structure to break on the higher time frames, which is this low here. Because this is the low, of course, which gave us the high. So if price can go and break through that, that's an indication that that bullish trend is probably going to change direction now. And then I can expect that next major lower high to form and the big drop. So until we get that, I still have to show respect to that bullish trend. So hopefully that made sense there for pound CADs. Anyway, I'll go through the yen pairs. So the main move I'm looking at for the yen pairs is still very much more downside longer term. Pound yen I actually like a lot. I'm still looking for the big double top at this area for the big sell. And, if I catch it right, it could be a trade that goes on and on and on, back to the lows here and potentially further as well, which is why I'm very keen on it, because if I do catch it right, it could be a really, really big trade. So I don't want to miss out on that. Of course, I'll look for my confirmations. I'm not going to just jump in because I have this bias. For all I know, the market could still very much want to trend higher. So I have to be careful of that. But if I do get a good opportunity, good confirmation there, as long as I'm managing my risk, it's a trade that I'll always look to take because the reward is definitely worth the risk. But at the moment, I do still see more upside for pound yen. The market has been pretty consistent with the higher lows. and I'm looking for that to continue. We came back into this zone here last week, was it? Yeah, last week. Lovely reaction. So I do expect us to at least get back to the high there. Looks like we're having a bit of a pullback now, and then we'll probably continue, and hopefully hit my zone, and then I'll see what price gives me, and then hopefully get into some shorts. But we'll cross into that when we get there. But yeah, for now, for pound yen, I do still see more upside. In terms of entries, it's always a little bit awkward now because you're taking entries in the middle of things. You want to be taking entries where you can, potentially catch the next high low. That's really where you want to find your entries if you want to swing that next move. Taking bullish entries in here, you kind of want to be focusing more intraday, in and out, even intra-session, really. This is not the best place to try and buy and hold positions back to highs and further as well. So really, for pound yen, I would say the boat is sailed. The train's left the station. This is kind of where you want to be looking for entries, unless we get back there again. Yeah, there is no trade there really. Like I said, unless you're on the lower time frames, 15, 5-minute, sure. But yeah, this is the move I'm expecting there for pound yen, and then hopefully some sells. In terms of euro yen, as I mentioned earlier, same thing really as well, expecting a push back to highs. And then, of course, hopefully the sells do form and we get some bigger shorts. But as you can see, the market's been very, very, very consistent for all these higher lows. Looks like it's formed another one. And again, this is the location for entries. Now that we've already had a big, strong reaction, we're testing this area. I'm still looking at this as a pullback for price to break through eventually. So maybe you can try and anticipate that, but it's always just a bit awkward trying to find some long entries in that area, especially if you want to try to hold through supply, hold through resistance. There's a good chance you do get taken out break even or even a loss before price does that. But if you're looking for something quick, sure. But yeah, this is the move I'm still eager on for euro yen as well. Expand to the higher time frames, lovely drop there. Still looking at that as the correction for continuation there as well. So that is still what I'm looking at. CAD yen, same thing basically as well. Dropped to the 4-hour chart. This one had a nice break of resistance. Was it yesterday? More or less yesterday, Monday. It looks like it's already having a retest. Now, I'm not really the big fan of sharp quick break and retest. I like price to create levels in the market and then really break through them to show me a lot of intent. And then I'll look for pullbacks afterwards and then the continuation. I don't want price to, create level resistance and just have a very slight breakout and a slight retest. Sometimes they do work out, but I've got a lot more success when I've seen bigger breakouts because they're more commanding, there's more momentum, and they're less likely to be fake outs as well. So that's why I like trading the big breakouts versus the very shallow ones. Of course, not to say that they don't play out either, but the bigger ones are more successful on average for me. So with CAD yen, I would rather have seen price push a little bit more commanding and taking its time on the pullback before continuing. At the moment, it is retesting, so you can look for some entries on the lower time frames as long as it stays above. It's still very much a valid trade. For CAD yen targets, I'm still looking for a push back to the high here. We've been pretty consistent with the higher lows. If I whip out the old trend line, connecting the dots, made a lovely double bottom over here. Price broke the high, created a new high there, new higher low, new higher high, new higher low here. And of course, it just created a new higher high there as well. So as long as we can remain above this, this becomes a really nice opportunity for a long back to that 111.475 area. And again, just like CAD yen, just like euro yen and just like pound yen, from here, I do expect to see a really big sell-off. Still looking at this as your lovely impulse. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Lovely impulse there to the downside. This is the correction of that. And then looking for one more push up for the sell. Yeah, so that's really what I'm focused on myself. But at the moment, more upside looks pretty likely there with CAD yen. So keep an eye on 111.475. I think that's a pretty healthy target to have. In terms of Aussie yen, this one was pretty bullish, past couple of days. Maybe yesterday was bearish with those candles there. It would be nice if the breakout was a little bit bigger, but what we can say is that the market is putting in now consecutive higher lows, 1, 2, 3. Of course, now we're seeing higher highs as well. So low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and again another higher high as well. It's just very corrective with Aussie yen, which is what I don't like, but structure is structure, and as long as we obey it, you're expecting structure to continue, of course. So there is that possibility for another pullback, another higher low forming, some pullbacks back into that range there. 97.5 looks good, and possibly for the next continuation after that as well. Because what I'm looking at for Aussie yen is these major lows, one over there, second there. This looks to be a third. If that is the case, we could still very much see a push back to the high for, again, potentially a big sell. We're looking for the continuation of that move. So, yeah, Aussie yen, pretty much across the board, I'm pretty much bullish on the yen pairs intra-week. Some definitely look better than others. I don't think Aussie yen is probably the best one, but hey, it's been very consistent with the higher lows. As long as we don't go and suddenly break through this low here. So as long as we don't do something like this and break the low, I would stay bullish, at least look for price to return back to the high, and then we'll go from there. With New Zealand yen, it's pretty much the same situation as well. This one this one hasn't given us as many higher highs and higher lows yet. But of course, we did form a very aggressive double bottom here. Eventually did break structure to the upside with the move from a couple of days ago after seeing that next higher low. So again, it's similar to Aussie yen, a lovely range back down here. If price was to come back and retest that range, that would look like a lovely place for a long. Take a trade back to the high. And of course, you can expect some higher prices after that as well. And as long as price respects it, I would be bullish. If we were to break through, yeah, things get very, very choppy again. And I'll just mark it off as a range, really, and just see what price does. But yeah, at the moment, still putting in higher lows in, looking at that as a double bottom, break a structure. Now let's see if we can keep up these higher lows and create new highs after that. But I would rather focus on like CAD yen, or I was going to say pound yen and euro yen. They do look better, but they need to have pretty big pullbacks. I'm not too sure if they will have them, because for euro yen, the way I look to trade it, go back to FXCM. The way I look to trade euro yen would be a push back to this level and then some buys from there. So if price was to do that, that'll be a great setup. Same thing with pound yen, but I just don't see price doing that just yet. If it does, it could be some nice trades, similar to pound USD and euro, as I mentioned at the start of the stream. If you were to get some bigger pullbacks from them, I'll be more than happy to short them. But will we get those bigger pullbacks? We just have to wait and see. In terms of dollar yen, I really like this one. I like this one to the upside as well. Of course, me being bullish on USD is always going to be a nice added confluence. If I can read the DXY and have a bullish bias from that, then that always helps. If I have a bullish bias in dollar yen as well, looking at the chart and price action. So again, for USD JPY, consistent higher highs and higher lows. Just broke through structure there recently. So I'm expecting a push back to the high here on the left, which is all the way back at 161.975. That is where my target is. This is the higher low down here, which gave us the higher high. So as long as price does not break through that low, I remain bullish there for dollar yen. And if I was to whip out the lovely fib from the wick low to the wick high, I do have that 50 running through the market in this area, which also lines up with this brief pause before that really strong move to the upside. And we're still yet to come back and retest that zone. So it would be nice for dollar yen to have that bigger correction, come back, find support, find some buys, and then again see the next wave. But again, it's similar to dollar CAD. If we were just to break through the high, which looks like price is trying to do at the moment, Yeah, we're probably not going to see the deeper pullback. So the best setup you probably would find would be a strong break of the high, a retest of it, and then some more upside. Because at the moment, all we have here really is just a ranging market. Equal highs, equal lows. Looks like we're about to break the high there. So your next best bet is that break and retest opportunity, which which will occur if we do see that strong break, and this will just become. I mean, if the price was still to pull back, it would still be a valid trade, but just looking very unlikely of us getting that bigger pullback at the moment. So, yeah, dollar yen very bullish. Targets higher time frames is definitely back to the high there, 161.9. And at the moment, if we do see a strong break of 158, looking for the retest of that same area, then of course, hopefully we can trade it back to the high there. If not, keep an eye on 154. That is still a real big possibility. And then in terms of CHF JPY, then we'll take a look at the yen basket quickly as well. CHF JPY, I think, looks pretty good as well. I wouldn't mind another retest of that low, as long as we can respect it. Another push back to the high, back to this high here, and possibly further as well. The market came back to test a lovely consolidation here. It was successful for that first retest. If it was to come back there again, as long as we get some good confirmations, I still think it's a nice area for a trade and to push back to highs there, because we did have this bearish structure, but it's not playing ball anymore. We're now focusing on this bullish structure. So as long as we keep respecting the lows, I do expect us to keep pushing. And at that point, we probably will make it back to the highs down the left at 177 as well. So yeah, CHF JPY bullish to me. Again, will we get the retest of that area again? Who knows? But in trading, you plan your setups. That will be a setup planned. If it does arise, cool, we're there to take it. If it doesn't, there are other pairs we're looking at. It's not about necessarily calling what the market's going to do next. It's just about taking trades which align with your edge and letting the edge do the heavy lifting. So if we can get some entries down there, that'd be great. Of course, trade it back to the high, and then if so, we can take it back to the high over there. CHF JPY, I'm not really looking for the big sell. The big sells are more focused on like CAD yen, Euro yen, Pound yen, Aussie, New Zealand. CHF JPY and dollar yen, not really looking for that big sell, as I mentioned earlier. And then lastly, if I quick look at the JPY basket. So this one, a bit of a drop there past few days. So yeah, JPY basket looks like it's destined to come back to the low here, at least 61.26. So this is going to be very interesting, because if we can see price get to that low, start respecting it, then that will probably give me the signals I'm looking for on Pound yen, on Euro yen, CAD yen to take the big sell. If price was to go and break through this, then we'll probably see Pound yen break through the high as well. Now, definitely back away from the sells in Pound yen. At that point, we're probably going to see a swing all the way back to this low here potentially, because we've got these major highs forming. 1, 2, 3. And if we were to keep breaking for the lows, then you're probably going to see the fourth one, fifth one, and eventually take the lows out there. That's a horrible line. Let's do that again. Take out the lows there, and so on and so forth. So very, very bearish structure in the higher time frames. And if we keep breaking lows, I cannot be looking for the reversal anymore. If I zoom out, look at the bigger picture, we've been very bearish here on the JPY basket. And of course, as the basket, just get the mic, as the basket falls, the yen pairs rise. So it's inversely correlated. So if this does keep falling, the yen pairs will keep pushing. So yeah, we'll see what we do at that low. If it does break, I do think it's game over, and we'll eventually push back to 53.17. At that point, you're going to be very bullish on the yen pairs longer term. But yeah, in the more short term, I think the sells look good for the JPY basket. For us to get back to the low here, you can see how consistent we've been with the lower highs in the recent bearish structure on the 4-hour chart. This looks like another lower high. No evidence of structure breaking to the upside. So even if we do push up, expect a lower high to form and us to keep falling. So pairs like Euro yen is likely going to keep pushing to the upside at some point. Maybe not the deeper pullback, but we might start pushing. Pound yen is probably going to push to the upside at one point as well. And back to the highs there. CAD yen, so on and so forth. You know, we're all likely going to keep going higher. So yeah, that's really where I am at with the yen pairs. No problem. Happy to help. Andreas, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Yes, I will go through pound Aussie because considering some shorts. Yes, I will take a look at that for you. No problemo. CS integrated. What's up? DXY 15 minute. Okay. Okay, so I'll go take a look at the DXY setup as well. Ping, what's good? Hope you're well. Yes, New Zealand CHF in some shorts. I will take a look as well. Excuse me. That's actually a pair I'm looking at for shorts as well. Hasn't given me a setup yet, but I'm definitely keeping a close eye on it. Good morning, Anthony. No problem. Happy to help. Happy to help. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like. It does really help out. I appreciate everyone who has dropped a like so far. It does really help with the streams and growing the channel as well. So do appreciate that, guys. Anyway, I'll go through pound Aussie first. And then, of course, if you guys have other requests, drop it down in the chat. I'll go through DXY in the 15. We'll take a look at New Zealand CHF as well. And if I have missed out a pair from earlier, if you did request the pair from earlier and I haven't got to it yet, just let me know. But yeah, pound Aussie, you're looking for some shorts. Yeah, considering some shorts. So yeah, I do think there could actually be a pretty big move to the downside here for pound Aussie. I'm looking at where price is trading. I think overall, there's still a bit more upside in the tank because I'm looking at the weekly charts here. And there is a pretty big level at 2.04860, which is the high there. And I think prices like to go and test that area before maybe we get a really big sell-off. But what I can say is, though, is if I go back to the daily chart, we are taking out major highs. And when we tend to do this, price does go through a bigger pullback. You can see we formed a high here, big pullback, create a new high, big pullback. And we've just gone and done the same thing here as well, create a new high. So I do think at some point we will get that big pullback and probably form another higher low to keep pushing. Like I said, we do have that resistance there at 2.04860, which I do think price is eventually going to revisit. But we might have that deeper pullback first, form the higher low, form the next higher low in the sequence here. We're forming a lot of these higher lows. There's a good chance we could form another one and then potentially continue to the upside. So yeah, at the moment where we're trading, we're taking out these major highs. So I do think now that we've taken out liquidity above that high, we now have the potential to see that bigger pullback, but we are likely to keep buying unless, of course, we were to sell off completely and take out some of the structure. Then, of course, we will reanalyze and go from there. But the bigger move for me, pound Aussie, does look still to be to the upside. But judging on the 4-hour chart as well, price tried to continue, failed, put a lower high in, big strong drop there last week. This is still very corrective, so it looks like to me price is forming another lower high in the sequence. So one over there, second, third, and that might give us a nice drop there to the downside. So overall, for pound Aussie, bullish long term, but yeah, shorts do look good on the 4-hour charts and below. In terms of entries, it's a little bit tricky, but it does look like price is really struggling at the highs here. If I was to get a fib from the high to the low just to see how much we pull back. Okay, we did spike into the 50 this morning, or was that? Yeah, well, early this morning, we did spike into it. So maybe if price was to have another push to the upside, retest the high there. Let me just clear this out because it does look a little bit messy. So say price was to spike back into that area, I think that could be a really nice entry. So say we're about to move back into that zone, spike into it. I feel like that could be a really nice entry to take the shorts down there, stops above the high, and some short. Or if we're to have a slightly deeper pullback, then I do like this zone here. That was our last support we had before the strong break there. Haven't had a retest of that same level, and it does line up very well with the 0.618. So if the market was to have a slightly bigger pullback, I'll keep an eye on 2.0 2.01400 entries in that area, and of course similar targets back to where you came from. But more importantly, you can probably leave some positions to run because we do have that possibility to see that bigger pullback as we just went through in the higher time frames. Price could really drop from these areas before maybe we do go and put in that higher low to continue back up. So yeah, pound Aussie, I do agree with the sells, especially on the lower time frames. We're taking out some major highs on the daily chart, so we're likely to pull back. And now seeing us fail to make the new highs there, that's a sign of bears stepping in or buyers running out of juice. Really strong drop, that momentum there. And you can see by the nature of us moving to the upside, it's very corrective. So it means we're likely to spill over to the downside at some point. So yeah, I would agree with that short bias there in pound Aussie. Definitely keep an eye on those two zones there, 2.00697 and 2.01400. And from there, we might see a nice sell. But overall, bullish bias. But yeah, I think we are due a bigger pullback. DXY 15-minute, let's go take a look for CS Integrated. You said you're looking to take some buys. Okay. Okay, so what level do I see a pullback to before continuing to the upside? So yeah, I've marked on a couple areas on the hourly chart, but you can probably look at them from a 15-minute perspective as well. So we had, of course, the big double bottom down at this area. Market broke the highs there. So I do like this brief consolidation here on the hourly chart / 15-minute chart, because this is where all the momentum came from this morning. I think this is when that London session momentum came through. So if it was priced to come back, revisit that area, I would expect to see a bounce from there and probably the continuation back to the highs and then some. I do like this area here as well. Prior resistance gave us our last kind of big sell before we did shoot to the upside. So a pullback to 108.4 looks good as well. Should we have a slightly deeper pullback? But yeah, I would be expecting more upside for the DXY, a push back to the highs here eventually. Maybe not by the end of the week because, I don't know, NFP might have some craziness in store. Excuse me. But overall, I do still see the trend for USD continuing, and these two levels look good. So yeah, 108.650, or if we have a slightly deeper pullback, 108.4, both look very, very good. And at the moment, the market does look a little bit tired. So it looks like it's kind of getting there to that New York session. And maybe we might see a bit of a down move, flushing people out before a big buy. But yeah, those are the two zones I would look at on the lower time frames for a pullback. And then, yeah, look to see if we can ride that back to the highs, back to where we came from, which is 109.4, 109.5. But yeah, definitely very bullish there on the DXY. And exits 109. Okay, so if we go back to the 15, exit 109, which is just pretty much just above where we are trading at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if we kind of just keep pushing and go and hit 109 at the moment, because the market does still have a bit of momentum. It's getting tired, but it might just kind of just go and tag 109 right now before the drop. So yeah, I'll be keep an eye for that. But those are the two zones I'll look at personally. Anyway, let's go take a look at New Zealand CHF for ping. So yeah, New Zealand CHF is a market I'm keeping a very close eye on. I like the shorts for New Zealand CHF. It's been a very, very corrective move, which makes me expect more downside. Pullbacks are a great way to find entries to join trends and join continuations. But in the FX market, there's a different types of pullbacks, different length of pullbacks. And the best characteristics for pullbacks are pullbacks when they are corrective and they take their time. When we do see impulsive movements, if let's say we've got a nice downtrend and price kind of just shoots back to the upside like that, Not a good sign of a pullback. It could be. It could come back to respect the high and continue down. But the average pullback, which has good probability of playing out, is something that looks something like this. More corrective, taking its time to push up, because it's a sign that the buyers aren't really doing a good job at reversing price. Because the sellers have, of course, done a good job selling price down. But of course, buyers have come back into the market and we've seen a bit of a reaction. But if the market was truly going to reverse, you expect to see some heavier bullish candlesticks and some more momentum. The fact that we are still corrective is a sign that the sellers are still, holding positions. Buyers are not really doing a good job. So at one point, we're probably like to keep selling off. So these are the characteristics you want to be looking out for, especially after such a strong move on our prior bearish leg, and of course, vice versa with bullish trends. So as long as we can keep this up, I do like the shorts. I did draw a Fibonacci from the high over here to the low. I think we've just come back and tagged the 50. So I like that confluence there with New Zealand CHF. And I believe we've also just about retested this low. Yes, we have. So yeah, if price was to come back and revisit that area, give me a nice double top formation. I'll be all over that for some shorts. Stop loss above the high there. Entries in that area. And of course, looking to target this low here. But more importantly, looking to target the wick low, which is down here, because I do expect us to keep falling overall for New Zealand CHF. Excuse me. The monthly, weekly, daily charts are all bearish. So as a swing trader, this is the type of market which you want to kind of hold your positions, because you know that if the trend's going to continue, which more often than not it does, as we can all see, there's a good chance we are going to come back and take out that wick low. So yeah, I like New Zealand CHF. At least the push that low looks good, which is 0.5400. But there is that world where we do keep falling and we're going to take out that low too. And you can leave some positions to run, you give yourself the opportunity to catch that move as well. But yeah, very consistent with the lower highs here. New Zealand CHF formed a lovely one over there, second there, third there. So looking for the fourth. As long as we can maintain those highs, there's a good chance of us continuing. And if I expand to the daily chart, there's a very strong level of support which we broke through not long ago, which was a very nice sign that, okay, more downside is likely. You can see very strong support, big move to the upside, and price has eventually gone and broken through that. So, yeah, I do expect us to keep falling back to 0.49400. And you said you're looking for some shorts. Yeah, I'm looking for some shorts with you. This pair is a pair on my watch list. I was looking to enter this this one last week. Didn't quite get the entry. I was trading Euro CHF as well. So now I'm not trading any CHF pairs. I'd say New Zealand CHF looks the best out of them all. So if I can see price revisit the high there at 0.514, I will be looking for some entries, something similar to that, and at least the push back to that low. But hopefully we can swing it a little bit further. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for your New Zealand CHF. GBP weak again, dumping hard in the 5-minute. Let us see. Oh, it is dumping hard. Wow. Yeah, pound might be weak. It's been weak. It's been weak. It's kind of had like flashes of weakness over the past kind of week. And yeah, it is dumping very hard there on the 5-minute. Is it the same across the board? Let's go take a look at GJ. Yep, GJ. Oh, that's a big sell. Let's take a look at GCAD. Oh, GCAD's dumping as well. GA. Yeah, so yeah, pound does look very weak. Is the same with euro? Not so much, but it is picking up some momentum. Yeah, pound is definitely very weak. Comparing it to euro, euro is not really budging at all. So yeah, pound is definitely weak. That is for sure, and looks like price is just going to get back to that low. So yeah, that. Oh wow, do you see that nice little drop there? So yeah, the pullback I was just mentioning at the start of the stream back to this area here is not looking likely at all, unless we're going to see a massive turnaround in the next kind of 24 hours. I don't think we've got any major news for the pound. I think we do have some news for USD. Let me quickly just go through that. I think maybe jobless claims today, or was it JOLTS? So yeah, nothing for the pound. Yeah, we do have jobless claims today. Oh, we have FOMC minutes as well. Forgot about that one. FOMC minutes at 7 p.m. UK time. Again, that one is kind of a hit and miss, depending on what happens, depending on what is said. It might move the market a little bit, might move the market a lot. And I've seen it not have any effect whatsoever really on the market, to be honest. The FOMC minutes at 7. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on, but I'm not expecting anything colossal there. The big one really this week is NFP. So that's really where my focus lies. But yeah, we do have FOMC minutes in the evening and initial jobless claims in the afternoon at 1:30. But unless USD becomes very, very weak, I don't see how this turns around and gives us the bigger pullback. Even if it does become weak, it probably will send pound to the upside a little bit, but it'll probably just be for price to keep falling because there is a big level of support here, which it was flipped to resistance. Didn't really respect it well this week. But again, I wouldn't be too surprised if we were to have a bit of a pullback and then drop. But yeah, pound USD does look like it's continuing. And then tomorrow, not much tomorrow really. Euro retail sales. Yeah, that's about it tomorrow for Thursday. And then Friday, we've got unemployment rate for Swiss. Keep an eye on that. We've got employment change for CAD, unemployment rate for CAD at 1:30. We've got NFP at 1:30 as well. So yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye out for. These now is to look for a correction on GJ after drop and take my 70 pips profit of that retracement. Yeah, I mean GJ is definitely is one of the markets that moves the most. Yeah, GJ is a good pair to trade because if you know what you're doing, you can definitely find your bigger moves very, very quickly. You know, compared to like Euro USD is going to take you some time. The only bad thing about GJ if you're swing trading is the swap cost is pretty heavy on the sells. But intraday, you don't have to worry too much about swap. You have to worry a bit more about slippage. So you want to be careful around news. But in terms of the speed of the pair, it's definitely a blessing, I would say. Of course, it can be a curse too if you don't know what you're doing. But if you've got a plan, follow the plan. Yeah, make sure it's thoroughly tested. That's up to your due diligence. And if you do that well, you can find some really nice opportunities on GJ on an intraday basis. But yeah, pound USD is looking pretty bearish, and is pound yen pushing hard. I still do expect more upside for pound yen though, even with this bearish momentum right now. I know it's selling off pretty hard, but I still do expect pound yen to eventually push back to the high at 199.773. So that's still very much my take there on pound yen. I don't know what pound is doing. It's weak right now. Will it stay weak for the remainder of the week? Potentially. But I do expect that yen weakness to be the overall victor in this battle here. But yeah, it is safe to say that pound yen is dropping pretty hard right now. We'll see if that continues. But there's one thing to say, though. The markets are definitely moving. We definitely can't critique that. Since the holidays is over, we are seeing movement. Anyway, I'll go through some of the crosses. So I did take a look at pound Aussie earlier. So this one, I'm expecting a lot more downside. Of course, another pound pair. It looks like we're seeing that momentum creep into the market now. Not too sure if we'll see those bigger pullbacks, as I mentioned. Wow, that is really dropping. So I said it would be nice to see a push back to this level here or potentially that level there for some entries if you're not already in the position. But at this rate, we're just about to come back and take the lows out there. So maybe that boat has left the station. That boat has left the station. I mean, the train's left the station. In terms of pound entity, I'd imagine something similar as well. Another pound pair. Okay, this one's probably not selling off as aggressively, but still showing some momentum. But yeah, with pound NZD as well, of course, a very similar pair to pound Aussie. I kind of do expect a similar situation to occur with this one as well. We've taken out some major highs on the higher time frame. So this was the COVID highs. We've taken out that recently. After we did that, what happened? Had a really big pullback. Now we've taken out these highs again, expecting to see a similar situation occur. Again, we've been very consistent with all of these higher lows here. So, it's something where I'm not necessarily expecting us to sell off like that, although that could happen. I expect us to see a dip and a pullback and another higher low in relation to these prior higher lows. And maybe from there, we continue back up again. Because there is still somewhat of a long-term uptrend here, which could still very much be in full flow and still want to see some more higher highs. But we are struggling a little bit right now, and looks like we formed a bit of a double top there on the 4-hour chart. So you can see there's our first high, came back to respect it, rejected again, lovely drop there. And now what we're seeing is consolidation. So if price was to break out of that consolidation with a strong drop, I would expect to see a lot more downside for pound NZD. And then, yeah, maybe when we start coming back to these areas, lovely consolidation, a lot of momentum came from there. Maybe we start looking for some buys again and a big push up again. But for now, I do not see any bullish opportunities. And if we're to break out of that range, I do think we'll probably see pound NZD have a pretty big drop. So, yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with pound Aussie. But of course, when I do look at pound Aussie, I do look at pound NZD as well. And 90% of the time, I would have the same bias with both of them. The times where I do have a bias, let's say bullish on pound NZD, and I'm bearish on pound Aussie, that's when I probably back away because I want them to be in sync. The times where I do analyze them both and one looks bullish, the other one looks bearish, not a healthy sign. Probably shouldn't be trading at that time. But yeah, to me, they both look like they're getting ready for a drop. In terms of their counterparts, Euro NZD and Euro Aussie, these guys I'm not as much of a fan of. I know Euro NZD is testing some major resistance. So if I go in the daily chart over here, as we can see, if I was to drag this level across, price is definitely trading at a massive level here. So there is that possibility for a really big sell as well, which lines up with that same bias with pound NZD. But yeah, there's nothing really to do with this. There's no kind of trend. I mean, there is a trend to some degree. There's an uptrend here. Price looks like it's paused in that trend. But in terms of momentum and continuation, we want to see price break outside of that. And then the momentum and the pullbacks after that should be really good. If not, we'll probably expect price to consolidate here for a little bit and probably have a bit of a drop. So this is actually a place to sell, if anything. In terms of opportunities, we'll scale down to the low time frames. Something I would keep an eye on would be, again, if you can break that range, show some momentum like we did over here. There could be some nice continuations off the back of that and look for some more downside, but not a pair that I'm looking at a lot. It's not a pair that I'm liking price action a lot. I think pound NZD and pound Aussie look a lot better. Yes, it's at a pretty big level, and I do expect to see a pretty big reaction. At the moment, we kind of just got a very sideways market. And if I scale over to Euro Aussie, this one kind of more of the same as well. Although this one had a really strong drop there from last week, and the way I see it, it looks to me that this is just a correction of that move. So big drop, corrective movement, and possibly we could see another big drop there to the downside. Take out the lows, and probably we can go a lot further as well. So yeah, Euro Aussie, Euro NZD look pretty bearish to me as well. I don't really have a good opportunity for them, but pound Aussie looks like a good trade, and pound NZD looks like a good opportunity as well. So yeah, more focused on those two. I think maybe pound weakness is maybe helping that as well. Yeah, it does look like pound USD is probably going to get back to that low. I would definitely agree with that statement. I mean, probably only a few pips away at this rate. Wow, look at that on the hourly chart. Pound is not messing around at all. There's absolutely no upper wick there. No upper wick, and the market is just absolutely dropped. And the thing is, the momentum has actually started from earlier. It started from, 7 a.m. Look at that. It's just dropping. It started from 7 a.m., had two strong candles, bit of a pause there, and now it's kicked on again. But yeah, pound is safe to say that it is very, very bearish right now. Because, of course, if I was to go take a look at Euro USD, okay, seeing some momentum, but nothing compared to pound. Pound yen, something similar as well. Yeah, strong drop. Then if I go take a look at Euro yen, not much there. So pound is definitely is pretty weak, and it looks like USD is pretty strong as well. Go to dollar. Yeah, dollar's pushing up pretty hard as well. We've gone past that 109 area. So yeah, it looks like dollar is probably going to push back to the high now, which is 109.4, 109.5, we'll call it. It's probably going to get there at some point this week. It would be nice to find some pullbacks of that move, but we'll probably just keep pushing. Ping. Okay, so you're in the short. Nice. Move stop to just move stop from a short to break even. Oh, okay. Where did you enter for pound CAD? But yeah, it being another pound pair. Wow, would you look at that? Absolutely huge candle. Literally at the start, I don't know. I can't remember when I looked at pound CAD, but we were literally trading in this zone, weren't we? We were literally trading in this zone. Probably a maybe half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. Now, we've gone and taken out that low. Crazy. But yeah, price is extremely bearish here for pound CAD. So again, depends what price wants to do here. We've formed another low high, it's taken out the low. Is this going to continue and form some bearish structure that breaks the overall bullish structure? Because of course the daily trend is still bullish. This is still the low, which gave us the high there. So if price was to break that, then of course that tells me the trend is over, most likely anyway. Or is this just another pullback to come back, retest some support? That's a horrible line. Let me do that again. Come back, retest some support for us to then push on. We shall see. But yeah, really nice drop there for pound CAD. Trading Evolution Lab, what's up? Anything that's good to buy is Aussie New Zealand dollar at the moment, 112. I'm looking to buy Aussie New Zealand dollar, but I'm looking for a bigger pullback personally. I'm looking for if I can catch a big swing for that one. I do want to see price kind of pull back. So yeah, I'm waiting on that for Aussie New Zealand dollar at the moment. I'll take a look at that in a second actually. 1.79154, 1.79154. Okay, so it's somewhere around here. Looking good. So do you have a target? Okay, there it is. Target 1.77348. Okay, so you're looking at a pretty big move to be fair, but I don't know. At this current rate, you could see price hit it very, very quickly. Pound is not messing around at all right now. So yeah, looking good. I would say watch out for this low here. I would say that'll be my first major target to look at, which is roughly around 1.775. That would be the area I would look at. And if we can break through that, then there's a good case for us to push back into the low here. But that would be my big obstacle to look for. But nonetheless, pound's looking very weak and we are dropping hard. I'll go take a look at Aussie New Zealand dollar. So Aussie New Zealand dollar, this one's trying to push to the upside. We're seeing some nice higher lows here. We had the first low there, second higher low, third one. Looks like price is forming the fourth. and looks like potentially could be pushing back to the high. So I do like Aussie New Zealand dollar a lot. You said 1.12, 1.12. Where am I going? 1.12. Oh, is that your target? Oh, okay, yeah, target makes sense, makes sense. So yeah, I'm looking for that move as well. I was hoping, still am hoping, for Aussie New Zealand dollar to have one more pullback, go and test this area here. I'm looking for a double bottom at this low here on the daily chart, and looking to see if I can find some positions in that regard, test the trend line, test the support level, and hopefully see if I can swing it back to the high and maybe further as well. But Aussie New Zealand dollar has been very consistent on the daily chart with these major higher highs and higher lows. So market structure is bullish on the higher time frames, and lower time frames we are seeing that as well. So I would be looking at that bigger push, but if price does manage to break through this level of resistance right here, which is 1.10868. If price was to go and break through that, we probably will just continue back to the high there naturally and probably go and hit your 1.12 target as well. If we were to have that bigger rollover, let's say we really struggle to break through this level here, maybe we do roll over, see that buy happen, that would be a very nice setup for myself. But yeah, if we do go and take up the highs, at 1.109, we'll probably just put another higher low in, just like we've been doing consistently on the 4-hour time frame. Ride that back to highs, and then yeah, potentially 1.12 as well. But yeah, I do agree. It's not really my favorite pair to trade, but occasionally does give some nice setups. And I have to say the structure is there. We're taking out highs on the left pretty well. So as long as we can continue that, I have no problem with looking to buy Aussie New Zealand dollar. And eventually we might even see a push all the way back to the high here. That will be a story for another day or a topic for another day. But we could even see that happen longer term. But yeah, Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I do like the buys. Euro pound is one I'm looking at for the buys as well. This one does need some work. Looks like we are kind of seeing that because of the pound weakness at the moment. Really strong move there, as you can see there. I think that's just where the pound weakness is coming into play. But I like Euro Pound because on the monthly chart, we're trading at some very, very big levels where there's a good chance we can definitely turn around and really see a big move. You can see prior attempts to break through this have been have been poor, and prices have turned around. We've seen a lot of wick rejections and prices turned around and has really big moves. I wonder, can we see the same again? I'm not necessarily looking to swing trades all the way back to this area, but if I can catch a reaction, if we're going to see a bullish January, a bullish February, those are good opportunities as a swing trader to hold into some positions where we could ride Euro pound to the upside. So I'm looking at buys in these areas, but first, from a 4-hour perspective, I need to see us break some structure, which looks like price is trying to do at the moment. We formed a really nice double bottom a couple of weeks back. So it looks like we're failing to go lower. And now it looks like we're about to see price maybe break through that high. Of course, not confirmed yet, but if we do, great. It'd be nice if we can take out some of the highs there to the left as well. And then what I'll be looking at is the next higher low, because we have the double bottom here. This will be the next higher low, higher high. I'll be looking for the next higher low after that for my entries, maybe on the retest of the high there. I'll judge that closer to when price is setting up, and look for something like this naturally, and hopefully I can swing it maybe back to the highs here on the left, which is around 0.843. So this is something I'm keeping an eye on for Euro Pound, and the main catalyst for this is where we're trading on the monthly chart, which is at some very, very significant levels of support. And should we respect those areas, we could easily get to this level, easily. We can go a lot further than that, but I know that a push to here is pretty realistic. So if I can see a strong break of the high, which maybe if the pound weakness continues, we can probably get with this next candle close. It's just flying at the moment right now. Look at that. So you could probably get that pretty quickly, actually. This candle still got another 2 hours and 24 minutes to close. So, a lot can happen in that time, but we'll see. And then, looking for something like that for entries. And hopefully I can swing it back to the high. This is probably more of a trade for next week, but something I am keeping a close eye on. And that's kind of really where I'm at for the crosses. In terms of the CAD pairs, we just went through pound CAD. EuroCAD is partner in crime, probably doing something similar, maybe not as aggressively, but pushing to the downside. I haven't been a big fan of EuroCAD, to be honest. I don't like the price action on the higher time frames. It's very, very flat. I know we've seen some momentum recently, but overall, we've got highs over there, we've got lows here, and the market's been very, very flat in this range for the past a couple of years, really. Jan 2023, 2024. So it's been flat, similar to Euro USD, really. It's been very, very flat. So haven't been keen to trade it, but at the moment in time, big drop to the downside not long ago. This looks to be maybe the correction of that move. And now we might be seeing the continuation back to where we came from, which is the lows here. So that looks like an okay setup. It's just what I don't like about trading in ranges is that, break and retest are great patterns, pullbacks are great patterns to look at. But as soon as you take those opportunities in ranges, the success rate of those patterns do diminish because you get more chaos in ranges, more fluctuation, and less predictability. In trending markets, you're just naturally expecting the trend to continue until it doesn't. With ranging markets, you're expecting prices to stay within the range, but if you look at the price action in the range, it just fluctuates a lot. It's more difficult to predict. Not that you can't find a nice trade here and there. Sure, you can. But consistently, you probably perform better on trending markets, if your strategy focus on continuation patterns, which is something I do. So, not the biggest fan of EuroCAD, but it looks like it's doing exactly what... Did not mean to do that. It looks like it's doing exactly what pound CAD is doing, which is forming another lower high after that drop there a couple of weeks ago. So lovely drop there after we formed the double top. Now it looks like it's forming the next lower high after respecting some support here on the left. And at this point, we're probably going to get back to the low here, which is at 1.477. And probably do what pound CAD does and absolutely obliterate through that level and break through. So again, in terms of the shorts, you kind of already want to be in the trade for EuroCAD. You're entering at these areas here. Now isn't the best time to enter. Yes, you expect price to keep falling, but if you were to pull back, you don't really have a great place to put your stop loss. So it doesn't become a great place for an entry. But I do expect price to keep falling. If it does pull back again and maybe retest the zone, look for some more re-entries. You can get a stop loss above the high. Maybe a big double top forms there, and you can swing it back to the low. That could be a really nice trade there to look at. So, keep an eye on that for EuroCAD. But overall, I do think more downside is likely. Just not one of my favorite pairs to trade. In terms of New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD, I like these guys here a lot better. I'm actually hoping for some bigger pullbacks for them, but looking pretty bearish at the moment. What's up, Ben? Morning. Is BTC cooked? Okay, I'll go through Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD first, and I'll go through some crypto markets because there were some big drops yesterday, which came out of nowhere. I mean, Ethereum, I was kind of expecting that one. Bitcoin, I was looking for more upsides, but nope, that guy absolutely tanked. So we'll go take a look at Bitcoin together. But first, let me just get through New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD. So with New Zealand CAD, I'm looking at more downside. This pair is on the watch list at the moment in time. We've taken out some key structures on the daily chart. These two high lows here. This low gave us that high. So it's a significant low. It's a higher low. We don't want to break through that if you're bullish. If it does break, it's a sign that more downside is likely to come. And we did that again with this low as well, which gave us that high there. So I'm expecting more downside for New Zealand CAD longer term and eventually a push back down into this low. So the plan is looking for a pullback now to short. It looks like price has already got that pullback in play and it might be ready to fall again. I was hoping for a much deeper one. If I whip out the old channel and connect these highs up. Oh, did not mean to do that. There we go. So I was looking for price to come back to the upper end of this channel, retest this brief consolidation there. Give me the next lower high in that area and then short it back to the low and so on and so forth. In respect to these prior major swing highs, one over there, second, third, now looking for the fourth. So that's what I'm still looking for New Zealand CAD. Just it might already just want to be tight. The markets are moving quite a lot, aren't they? New Zealand CAD's melting right now. Pound CAD's melting. I don't know. Is CAD a little bit strong? Anyway, that is the opportunity I'm looking at for New Zealand CAD. But yeah, it doesn't look like we might get that pullback I'm after. Aussie CAD, same exact thing really. It looks like price is selling off a little bit. I was looking for a deeper pullback. Still am. We've got a lovely bearish channel in play right now. And as you can see, I was looking for a push to the upper end of that channel, back into that range. So similar to New Zealand CAD. Looking for the continuation of these lower highs. 1, 2. That was a bit of a fake out. 3, 4. Looking for number 5. Retest that area. And of course, a lovely swing back into the low. And then, probably can go a lot lower than that as well. But yeah, I was looking for some shorts with Aussie CAD too. But yeah, doesn't look like I can find a setup there. Because it just seems to be way too bearish. Looks like there's a lot of momentum in the market at the moment, and we might not be seeing those deeper pullbacks, which is some of the cons of looking deeper pullbacks. Deeper pullbacks are great because when you catch them, it means you can, maximize your risk reward. Should price get back to the high or back to the low of the trend, depending which way we're going. If you do catch a nice deep pullback, you can look to hold that for the length of the trend and really maximize your risk reward. But of course, if you're looking for the deeper pullbacks all the time, sometimes there'll be shallow pullbacks and you just miss the trade, which is trading. You're not gonna catch every move, of course, but on average, of course, of a month, a quarter, a year, there will be enough opportunities for you. But just means he doesn't catch every single one. But yeah, let's go take a look at BTC. So that one had a bit of a drop yesterday. Still looking pretty bearish at the moment right now. Yeah, so we had a big move, broke through the high here. So I was expecting price to pull back, maybe retest the structure and continue. But nope, it kind of gave us a bit of a fake out there because a very strong move up, followed by impulsive move down. Not a healthy sign of continuation. You want to see impulsive moves followed by corrected moves, followed by impulsive moves. I know crypto is a little bit different than compared to your normal FX pair or commodity or even indice. But impulse is never really a good sign. So yeah, we could be seeing price push back down to the low end of this support. If I expand to the daily chart, this is still very critical support here for Bitcoin. Should price break through this, it's not a good sign at all. And as I keep saying, if price was to break through 94K, the next best place I have for Bitcoin for a bounce is back down at 73, 72K, 74. So there could be a big drop to be had. Yeah, we are dumping. It's not looking good for Bitcoin. What's up, Michael? Yes, I will go through gold for you. I'm just going to go through Bitcoin and go through Ethereum, and then I'll take a look at gold. Ping, what's up? Oh, New Zealand CHF dumping. Yeah, it looks like a lot of markets are just moving right now, which again, good thing. I mean, rather than not moving, rather than moving than not. But yeah, I'll go through Bitcoin, Ethereum, take a look at gold, then I'll go through New Zealand CHF as well. 2016 next move for gold, then on to 2600 maybe. Okay, so you're looking for some downside. Yeah, I'm staying away from gold. I still don't really have a good read on that yet. But yeah, in terms of Bitcoin, seeing a lot of momentum. I'll keep a close eye on 94, 93K. I still think this is a great area for some buys. If we do see some strong rejections in this area, if you can get a stop loss underneath the low, I still think it's a great place for a buy. But the fact is that Bitcoin's just become a little bit stale. All that momentum, November, December was looking really good, but we've become very, very corrective now. And as we all know, Bitcoin, crypto in general, depends a lot on momentum. We want people buying into the market. Momentum creates more momentum, and that more momentum will create more momentum. But the time it does start to deplete and tire out, people will start to take positions, close positions, and it's not as liquid as Euro USD, for example. So if some bigger players do take some positions out, it could give us a bit of a sell, and maybe that's what's happening. So if this support level does break at 93K, we might just see that bigger pullback, and this is the next big level for Bitcoin, back at 94. So could see a move all the way down there. And if you take a look at Ethereum, Ethereum had a nasty sell yesterday, really aggressive. So yeah, we had that double top over there, break of structure. I was looking for the sell to happen a little bit earlier on the retest of the zone. It broke slightly above it. It did tap into this area of supply before the drop there, but it's not looking good at all for Ethereum. In fact, I do think price can probably make it back down to the wick low here, because I do expect us to actually go further than that. I do think Ethereum can actually make it back down to this area. That's where I do see Ethereum pushing to 2,900, because the fact that we had such a strong rejection at that high, the double top, the aggressive movement, this looks to me to be the next lower high in the sequence. So I would expect to see some new lows. This low being taken out, and then we do have massive support down here, which is probably the next big area where buyers will start jumping back into the market. Whether it will give us something like that or just a reaction is difficult to say. But I do think the bigger move for Ethereum is back to 2,900. And if Ethereum keeps falling, maybe we see Bitcoin follow along as well, and we get that bigger drop there too. But yeah, Ethereum probably going to get a bit of a correction and another drop. So not looking good. Not looking good for these boys. Anyway, we'll go through gold and New Zealand CHF. Yep, it is chopping up pretty hard. Andre, yes, we'll add the DXY to the list. I'll just go through gold, New Zealand CHF, and we'll take a look at the DXY together as well. So yeah, gold, not a pair which I am liking a lot. It's just very, very choppy in my opinion. The way I'm looking at it is that we've got some equal highs up there. We've got some equal lows down here. And this is price kind of faking the low of the range, so to speak. Had a nice retest there a couple of days ago. But overall, there is no kind of real trend, apart from the larger one, of course, on the daily chart. There definitely is a bullish trend there. So that's why I'm naturally bullish with gold. But I don't really have a bullish setup to follow. Then you're looking for some sells, push back down to 26.15 and then 2600. So 26.15 would take us back into that support level. And then 2600 is back down into this low here as well. So yeah, we could definitely see that. We could see that. We could also see price push back to the high. The area I'm still looking to see a reaction from is still this zone here. This is still the area which I said at the beginning of December even. And I said I was looking to actually take a buy from. We never quite got there. We had a bit of a drop there mid-December, didn't quite take us into the low, and then starts to consolidate and mess around. So this trade I've been eyeing up for quite a while now, just still hasn't printed. If it does come around, I'll look to take the buy. But yeah, just still waiting patiently. I mean, this does look like a correction, because we did have that really big drop there in December, and then this is a very corrective move of that. So this could just be an impulse correction. But it's not a good location. It's against the higher time frame trends, so I don't have a lot of confidence with it. Therefore, that's why I'm staying away from gold. But of course, intraday there could be some nice opportunities, and if you see something that fits your plan well, then of course, make sure you take your trades. It's all about playing the probability game. You don't know which trade's going to win, which trade's going to work. But as long as you're taking trades according to a plan, if you tried and tested, that's all you can do as a trader at the end of the day. And yeah, New Zealand CHF seeing some momentum as well. I'm still going to keep an eye on the double top there because that's really where I want to find my entry. But as you can see, very consistent with the lower highs there. This is still my zone, which I want to be shorting from. Really strong support on the left there. Now flipped as resistance. And of course, we've got the 0.5 of the fib from the high there to the low. So still a really nice opportunity here for New Zealand CHF. I do think longer term, we can still push back into the wick low here as well. So it's an opportunity which has a lot of potential if it does play out to the downside, and especially using trading stops. You don't know. Maybe it could be a massive trade. But I do want to see one more push to the upside first. There is a bit of a trend line here I noticed on the hourly chart. And I think that's what you meant by the channel. So if I do whip in the old bullish channel here, connecting the lows. Yeah, price did have a bit of a dip below, but looks like it's still respecting. I mean, this candle's about to close in 9 minutes, so we'll see if it does respect it. But there is still a possibility for another push up, which is what I'm looking for. Find some entries and then, yeah, take it down. If the price does just break the channel, yeah, maybe we keep dropping. And the only way you probably get a trade is if you scale right down to maybe like the 30 or 15-minute chart. But yeah, that is really what I'm looking at for New Zealand CHF. I'll go take a look at the DXY next. So yeah, DXY, wow, did we push into the high there? Yes, we did. Wow, DXY did not mess around. I was literally looking at the DXY probably about 15 minutes ago, and we're trading just about here. Now we've even spiked into the high. So yeah, DXY is all over the shop. Well, it's not all over the shop. It's actually just one way. It's bullish. It's just seeing a lot of momentum at the moment. So it's safe to say USD is pretty strong. I was looking for the bigger pullback for the DXY yesterday. This week, I was hoping to see DXY kind of take out these lows here, push deeper into this area, and then get the buy. But it didn't quite happen. Looks like DXY is just very strong. USD is just very strong. But nothing to worry about because I'm still looking at the bigger move for the dollar being all the way back to 113, 114. So if we just go and break the highs again and do something like this, my job will be to look for the next pullback afterwards, find the next high low, take the next trade, and so on and so forth. If I don't catch this high low, hopefully I can catch the next one after that. Still a long way to go back to targets. But yeah, USD is looking very strong, and I imagine USD pairs have had a bit of a hit. Euro, yeah, a bit of a sell. Of course, pound, a bit of a sell as well. Damn, that's even spiked the low. My goodness, that was not messing around at all. Dollar CAD, that's probably had a bit of a move to the upside. Yeah, I think CAD is a bit weak as well, so this one is not as bullish. Aussie dollar. Yep, falling. New Zealand dollar as well. Yep, and dollar CHF. Yeah, I was looking for a bigger pullback here for dollar CHF, but I mean, again, still could happen, but it's looking very bullish at the moment. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, Ping. Hopefully we can see that second push up. If it does break the channel on the hourly chart, then it's probably just going to keep falling. It is probably just going to keep falling, but if it does see the bigger pullback, that could be a nice trade there for us. Yeah, exactly, Matt. That's the benefit of this heightened volume and movement and momentum in the market. It does mean you will get to targets quicker. Of course, you'll get to stop loss quicker as well. But generally speaking, you like to get no one wants to get into a trade and sit in a trade for forever. You want to get into the trade, either be stopped out if you're wrong or hit your targets if you're right. You don't want to be in there for too long, especially if you're swing trading because it costs money because of swap. Unless you get a positive swap, of course, then it doesn't. You actually make a bit of money, but you really want to get your trades moving, and that's the benefit of momentum. So definitely, as a trader, retail trader cannot complain. I want to see more of it, and hopefully it does last. No, I did close the Euro CHF position after it did break through resistance. I did to close it a little bit early. But if price was to get back underneath the level, which looks like we might be doing, then I'll look to see if I can get back into the trade. But I need to get a strong close again. My prior entries on that candle there. Could look to enter again with a similar stop loss. But if that kind of does leave the wick, I'll leave it alone. But yeah, still looking at shorts for Euro CHF. After that kind of did close, I got out the trade. But since we haven't broken structure yet, the trade is still valid. So if we do get another close below, I will look to re-enter. And then again, same targets back to the low there. I probably will go to break even at this area now because the market is still forming higher lows, which I need to be careful of. So of course, you got the first low there, second low there, third and fourth low there as well. So I wonder if price is putting another higher low to potentially push on again. That could be the situation. And if we do get pushed to the low, I will make sure I take some, not take profits, but I'll look to move stop loss to break even and see if we can get that bigger move. But I'm out the trade, but I will be looking to see if I can find some re-entries. How are the CHF pairs looking though? Pound CHF, what we doing? Okay, yeah, pound CHF of course dropped because of pound weakness. Yeah, that was a big drop there. Aussie CHF, how are we looking? A little bit bearish, maybe. I prefer New Zealand CHF, so I'll be more focused on that one. And CAD CHF. Yeah, CAD's a little bit weak as well. No, is CAD strong? I think CAD's a bit strong. Yeah, CAD is strong. Sorry, CAD is strong. Yeah, that's why it's not moving as well. So because USD CAD is a little bit stale. So yeah, CAD's been a bit strong. So that's why CAD CHF hasn't dropped that much because CAD's a bit strong and CHF's a bit strong as well. But yeah, everything is selling off right now. Yeah, I think maybe that's probably why 2025 might be very volatile because Trump's in power. Hopefully his Twitter stops popping off again. Need to make sure you got post notifications. Hit the bell for post notifications with Trump's Twitter. That's your economic calendar. Yeah, I like USD CAD longs. But I don't think I'll get the bigger pullback I'm after to 1.415. I was looking for the bigger push here, and of course, if USD is going to be strong, then we're probably not going to get the bigger pullback. So the next best opportunity with dollar CAD is the break of the high, and then some opportunities off the back of that on the retest of 1.446. So yeah, the bigger pullback probably not on the cards with USD strength. Of course, maybe anything can happen. Not going to rule it out, but if USD keeps up this momentum, maybe CAD softens up a little bit. We'll probably see price go and break the high here, do what pound USD is doing, do what euro is doing, and then we can start talking about some pullbacks here. But yeah, very bullish on dollar CAD, so I'm only eyeing up buys. And the only two setups which look good is if we can get a solid break and retest of that level, or we have that deeper pullback. That's the only way I do see some buys there for dollar CAD. LTF, LFTJ, saw BTC 110 for the pullback though. I know it's still bullish. That was a good trade, made my day. Nice. NAS 100. Okay, I'll take a look at NAS 100 for you. Some more time to manage trades and go broken or switch my buys. Okay. Oh, instead of being stopped out while sleeping or at work. Yeah, I can imagine that's a bit of a bummer. So yeah, let me take a look at NAS 100. So yeah, NAS, yeah, we had a bit of a sell-off, didn't we? The indices, everything is selling, isn't it? So yeah, a bit of a sell-off to the downside. I was pretty bullish with NAS 100 this week. In fairness, we have seen a nice move, but as we have come back to this area here, it has sent us right back down again. So in terms of the buys, the next best place for a buy, I would say, would be back at the lows again. I was at the beginning of the week talking about some buys on this area, but I was expecting to see more of a minor pullback and then the continuation. Since we already had such a big move and we tapped into a much stronger area of supply resistance, the next best place for a buy would be back down at these lows here for a long, because this, of course, this is where the buyers are sitting. This is where we've seen some big reactions, so that's where I'll be focused. And given what the markets are doing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we do keep falling, because it looks like we're seeing USD strong and all the majors are falling. Yen pairs look a little bit bearish. CHF is falling. Might see the indices and fall too. And of course, crypto is seeing a bit of a move to the downside as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see NAS keep falling. So the next best place for a buy, I would wait a lot further down. I can get a safer stop loss. Not to say that you're guaranteed to have a winning trade from here, but at least I know a lot of other buyers will be looking to jump into trades there, and I know sellers will be looking to take some positions off the table as well. Still bullish on NAS though, because that's overall the trend at play. Still very consistent with the higher lows as a long-term standing trend line. Still doing its job there until that kind of breaks. I'll keep that bullish bias for now. But at the moment, it does look like we'll probably get a deeper pullback in before the continuation. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're kind of in the break-even dance, there's only a few minor things you need to tweak before you do get that equity curve pushing up, because profitability is just your sum of your winners outweigh the sum of your losers. It's not that you don't lose or you always win. It's that on average, the profitability, the sum of your wins outweigh your losses. So if you can find a tweak, that means you lose a little bit less or win a little bit more. That equity curve will naturally start pushing up. So it's only a few tweaks you just need to occur to actually get the ball really rolling. But guys, we have made it to the end of the stream. So I will be live again tomorrow as always, and Friday as well from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you are free, make sure you pop in, say hi, chat with us. We do not bite. And of course, let's see if the momentum does continue, because it is looking pretty interesting. And we still haven't had NFP yet either. We're still seeing big moves and NFP still yet to come. So it's going to be an interesting week nevertheless. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in for another stream. I do appreciate you guys tuning in and all the love that you guys do share. Appreciate everyone who has liked the stream. And if you haven't already, please be sure to go and do that. It does really help out. Subscribe to the channel and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Like I said, guys, we'll be live again tomorrow. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Trades Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that in the description below. And also at the top of the chat, you can join discussions, chat with other traders, chat with myself, share ideas. I share ideas there as well. And of course, if you want to find out a little bit more about Elevating Traders, the firm, information is there. And of course, you can find a discount code there as well for 50% off. So if you are looking for your next challenge, make sure you head over and check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.